everybody, and welcome back for some weekly VR news. As always, I am Mateo311, and this is your channel for everything VR related. So this definitely isn't a huge week for new VR game releases, but there's still plenty of stuff to go over, including some major discounts on VR hardware. Now there are of course links and timestamps if you want to skip ahead, but before we jump in, this video is brought to you by Catwalk VR, designers of consumer level VR treadmills and locomotion devices. They're currently running a massive Black Friday discount, which can save you up to $580 on some combo deals. The Catwalk C2 Core will be $100 off, $200 for the C2 Plus, and all other accessories are up to 30% off. So if you've been eyeing a VR treadmill, now might be the right time to finally make the purchase. There's a link to Kiwi VR down in the description if you're interested in finding out more about this sale. Okay, so let's start this video off like normal with the check-in, and that's what exactly have I been up to in the VR world. If you've recently seen some of my coverage, I've been jumping into Arizona Sunshine 2 with Beardo Benjo, and I'm also finishing up Assassin's Creed Nexus. Both of these titles are fantastic, guys. If you haven't seen the coverage, I'll put some links above. I highly recommend you check it out. And besides that, I'm just playing games for fun lately. I don't have anything scheduled that I really need to get through quickly or a review coming up. I do have something Friday, which is just a fun title, nothing special, nothing rushed. And I'm just getting back to my backlist of games because towards the end of the year, I like to make a comprehensive list of the best of 2023. So if I missed any titles, now's the time for me to get into them. Well, let's move into this week's rather short list of new releases, starting with Rooms of Reality. Technically, this title released last week, but I missed it in my news. Rooms of Realities is a series of escape rooms that you can play in both solo or co-op modes. There's a wide variety of puzzles that'll test everything from your logic, mechanics, precision, memory, and even your ability to cooperate with one another. There's also an underlining secret that connects all of the escape rooms that you'll have to discover on your own. Now, if you're not sure if Rooms of Realities is right for you, there's currently a demo available on Steam that you could pick up right now. Now, last week we were also supposed to get the release of the action-packed, adrenaline-filled title Tiger Blade VR. However, you may have noticed it's been delayed, and now we have to wait until December 22nd. Now, I kinda don't blame them. Who wanted to go up against Assassin's Creed Nexus, especially with a title that still leans more into the casual side of VR. Then again though, Assassin's Creed is only on the Quest, and Tiger Blade is a PlayStation VR 2 release. So I doubt this has anything to do with release competition, and more along the lines of the game needing a bit more polish. Now, I love the overall style that Tiger Blade is offering up, and the overall action does look great, but I'm afraid we're gonna have another forgettable experience on our hands, just like the majority of PlayStation VR 2 releases we've been seeing. Something really needs to change for the games releasing on that platform, and as cool as Tiger Blade VR looks, and as much as I'm looking forward to it, I don't think it's gonna be the game to do it. Now, unfortunately, that's just about all of this week's new releases, except for a few updates that I will go over in just a minute. It's okay though, we need a week off every once in a while. If you're in the US, this is going to be a holiday week, it's a short week, so we need a little bit more time to game with some of our existing titles, and we've had some back-to-back great releases, like Assassin's Creed Nexus, and also Vampire the Masquerade, so you're most likely still playing through stuff, and I think we need that downtime every once in a while. I'm actually happy that I can now catch up on some VR games, but let's move into those updates, starting with something that completely surprised me, a new DLC for the classic title Richie's Plank Experience. That's right, this VR game that's over 7 years old has just received some brand new DLC and a massive visual update for the Quest 3. So now instead of just taking an elevator ride up to the top of a building, you could stop and walk out over the edge of a canyon. It's a brand new way to induce some vertigo and get those palms to sweat. Now, another game delivering some unexpected updates is Ghostbusters Rise of the Ghost Lord. The 2.0 patch not only has a slew of bug fixes, but it also introduces a whole new game mode called Heist and Seek. Heist and Seek is Ghostbusters' first competitive mode, and it'll have teammates fighting over collecting the most gold. While you will be tempted to play as greedy as possible, becoming too aggressive and getting downed can lead to your teammates robbing you blind. Now, there are additional updates coming from Dreams in the near future, so let's hope Ghostbusters VR continues to get better over time. And speaking of getting better, the absolutely fantastic story-driven puzzle title Wanderer not only has their massive Fragments of Fate overhaul coming, but they also finally showed off just how good this game will look on a Quest 3. Wanderer was already known for being a great-looking game on PC VR, but the developers wanted to make it even better on PC and PlayStation VR 2, while also bringing this title to the Quest. In the latest trailer, it's looking absolutely fantastic, and Questers are going to be in for an amazing ride. My only concern is performance, especially after playing Assassin's Creed Nexus. Now, if you're not looking to spend any money on VR games right now, you should once again look into the mod scene, which is always pretty incredible. I have to mention some mods for Hellsplit VR. As of version 1.2, they now allow community mods, and the stuff that's coming out is pretty insane. Most likely inspired by the flat screen release of RoboCop Rogue City, there's an absolutely incredible RoboCop mod for Hellsplit VR. You get that iconic neon green HUD that automatically targets and locks in on your enemies, and instead of the game's fantasy theme and melee combat, you're now shooting down enemies with a massive pistol. Now, another mod that's worth checking out turns the game into Resident Evil 4. It's mostly a visual and audio overhaul, but it's a really cool experience that drops you into that iconic village, and it's a great way to get more fun out of an already fantastic game. Now, for those of you looking to do more than just play games on your VR headset, there's a brand new T-Pain concert that you can experience from AmazeVR. AmazeVR has previously done this in the past with other artists, and since this is a free experience from both Steam and App Lab, I recommend you guys go check it out and see if it's right for you. And that was all of today's software news. Now we have one hardware story before we get into today's main event, which is upcoming hardware sales. But I just want to mention, it looks like Varjo is getting ready to launch their fourth headset. Their XR3 headset released back in 2020, and they recently announced a special event where the promotional image shows a big giant 4. So it feels safe to expect that they're about to announce the XR4 or some other 4th generation headset. Now I may be looking into their photograph a little bit too much here, and the eyes are purposely obscured a bit, but it looks like they're gonna announce something closer to a visor rather than a full-sized VR headset. I love the fact that VR hardware is getting smaller and smaller, and I expect most new headsets will be closer in size to the big screen beyond. But instead of waiting for future hardware, you might want to purchase some existing hardware right now. The Quest 2 has been reduced down to $250, which makes this pretty incredible for what you get. Now, it's hard for me to recommend the Quest 2 even at $250 because I'm honestly expecting that new VR games a year from now are not going to run on the Quest 2. I think the lifespan is really heading to a quick end since the Quest 3 is here, and it almost feels like picking up a PlayStation 4 right after the PlayStation 5 releases. It doesn't make that much sense. Now, there are a bunch of things you can do with the Quest 2 besides gaming, but I don't think it's an all-around great device like the Quest 3, and now that it's at $250, the prices of the models available on eBay are going to be extremely cheap. I know the idea of wearing someone else's hardware doesn't sound great to some people, but even with a $20 facial insert replacement, you're still probably going to save a lot of money if you're going the used route. Now, I've already mentioned the massive deals going on for Catwalk VR during today's sponsorship clip, so I'm just going to go through this really quickly. If you had any interest in getting a VR treadmill, their cheapest model is down $100. Their more expensive model is down $200. You could save almost $600 on one of their combo packages, and all their accessories are also reduced. So if you've been really waiting for a VR treadmill, now is also a good time to buy in. And also the same is going on for the PlayStation VR 2. Arguably one of the best games is Horizon Call of the Mountain, so I would definitely recommend you pick that up with a PlayStation VR 2. And that bundle, which was originally $600, is now down to $500. It's still a pretty big asking price, and I really wish Sony would kick things up a notch. They have to release more of their big name IPs into the VR realm, because this headset's not doing fantastic in my opinion. It has let me down. I expected a lot more high quality games. However, there's still plenty of good stuff to be had on that headset, and to watch it drop about 18% in price, now is definitely a good time to consider picking one up, but I'm sure there's going to be some additional sales as we get closer to the Christmas season. And that was today's video, guys. I just want to say thank you so much. Support has been absolutely amazing lately. I love doing this channel. I love hearing from you guys, so thank you for that. If you're enjoying the ride, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you're new here, consider subscribing, and as always, I'll see you guys on next time.